Welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com. Welcome to the new studio, Jabes.
Oh my gosh.
We're in shambles right now. We're in shambles. We're in shambles. We're in shambles. No, half of it's built. It's being built.
Look.
And we thought, hey, why not? Let's just do it in the middle of it. Let everybody see the process.
The sausage, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know? How the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Hate that.
No, let's just.
I hate when people say
Let's just let them see the sausage.
Let them see your sausage.
I'm wearing shorts today.
Right.
I can peek my sausage out.
Let them see your sausage, I think is the phrase, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, let them see your
I'll let
sausage.
them see my sausage for sure.
Yeah.
I got great legs, Japes. Nobody ever gets to see them because we're behind a desk, but one of my best attributes.
Yeah.
I'm hairless, so I don't have any leg hair and or arm hair.
Right.
So in case you're wondering at home of like, hey man, is he Michael Phelpsing it? Mm-hmm. Is he going full fulcrum? Is he shaving himself?
Right.
No. I just was blessed to be born really without hair.
How fun.
Barely any arm hair, barely any leg hair, and not one single chest hair.
How
Isn't that a nice thing?
fun for you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You know what was also fun for me last night? Gosh, man, I'm almost at a loss for words at what happened last night on Yellowstone.
Jellystone. Yeah, Jellystone.
You and I said we want to create Yellowstone as Jellystone.
Yes.
But as adult bears doing all of the characters.
Yeah, that or we were going to do a Latino reboot, Yellowstone. Right? So what usually happens, let me just lay it out there. What usually happens is I smoke some weed.
Yeah.
Right? This is my evening routine, easing into the night. Smoke some weed.
Kids are, I want to stress that the kids are in bed. Kids are in bed.
Okay. Asleep.
Mama has her alone time.
And that's how I go to sleep. I don't take drugs.
Right.
Well, I guess it is drugs, but I don't take
is it?
Ambien, Xanax. I wanted to kind of get away from that. So anyways, smoke some weed. And then Yellowstone is usually something that just kind of is, and it especially this season has been quite relaxing. I can kind of fall asleep and still know what's going on because it's not really that much. It's sort of the same deal. Now, the finale
was last night.
I was being punked. Basically, somebody knew that I was going to smoke more weed than I usually do. And they were like, let's just fuck with all the people that have just been smoking weed during this.
Sure.
And really fuck with them to the point where when it's over, they don't know at all what show just ended. I don't want to spoil. It's going to be hard to not spoil alert, whatever.
Yes, give a spoiler alert on it. Yeah.
It's going to be hard because there's so many things that are going to give it away, but we must discuss.
I don't care. I don't care.
We must
so
discuss.
if you have not seen the Yellowstone finale, close your tiny little ears right now or skip ahead like 10 minutes in the show because this needs to be talked about.
Right.
And boy,
get ready.
Now is the point. So I'm gonna. We should have some form of now turn it off if you don't want to hear.
Okay. Yeah.
This.
Like a big an alert, alarm that goes off.
Yeah, because what I'm about to tell you can't be unheard. And it definitely couldn't be unseen for me last night. Where it starts off with Rip, who is, as you all know, is my favorite character.
Absolutely.
Cole Hauser.
Sure.
Babe.
Right.
What are we doing, babe?
Right.
Arrested
right.
for what, babe? For being awesome? For being awesome, babe? Hey, Beth, you don't need to know how many fucking men I've killed, okay, Beth?
Right.
How many? Yeah.
I don't want to. You don't need to know that, babe.
How many, though?
You don't need to know that, babe.
Very Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Either
not your
way.
fault. It's not your
Love
fault.
Rip.
Love
Rip. He was going to get married last night. What I thought he was going to get married last night.
Sure. Everyone
And
thought. Because the show was so boring that it was just a boring cowboy movie.
This season was very boring. The first 2 seasons were great.
They were great, but it was just kind of, it was a level of, the dynamic was very much the Indians fighting with these rich
White men
that took their land, and now they own like 500 million acres and don't want to give up 1/2 of it. And the dynamic of like when money is involved, how things go crazy, right?
So they own 500 acres, by the way. 500 million's a lot. That would be the entire state.
It feels like 500 million.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
it's
'Cause
500.
it's just like,
It's 500 acres.
right.
And anyways, Rip was going to go get married.
Sure.
And he was going to get a ring for his lovely bride.
right.
And
I didn't understand the ring part. So going through it,
sure.
my tiny little stoned brain didn't realize it was a ring situation. So
I didn't know what was going on.
didn't know what was going on.
When someone digs up a grave to exhume a body, the last thing that I'm thinking is, oh, hey, it's my mom, and I'm going to exhume her body to get the ring off her finger and then tell the dead mom, the actual corpse.
The corpse.
Of the dead mom, that I'm going to get married and I've met a special someone, and now
You
I
really
need your body
like her.
dug up.
Yep.
And I need to tell you that, and then take this ring off your
And
finger.
get your blessing is what it felt like a little bit.
Yeah. Now,
Of the
when we
dead mom.
say dead body, they go into who did the embalming of her, what she would look like before this was dug up. By the way, we didn't know that they were digging up the mom until they
No.
opened up the casket, and
They were talking about who was doing
he
the...
leans down and says, hey, mom,
Yeah.
good to see you, mom, you know?
And again, could have been my totally stoned brain, but the conversation about who did the embalming lasted 20 minutes in my mind of like, well, you know, don't know what we're getting into here. You know,
if it was Earl, then,
if it was
you know.
Earl, we're gonna have an issue. But if it was Eddie,
Yeah.
you should be good to go. And then they lift it up and say, oh, it was Eddie. And I thought, what fucking show am I watching?
Yeah.
I couldn't really say that because I knew I was really stoned. So I was like, maybe this is right on time and it's just me. The makeup of the mom, dead, they open it up. Oh, good, it was Eddie. So she's only green as opposed to like a skeleton, right? So it was like
It was a...
painted on.
It looked like
Halloween.
one of those filters in like WhatsApp or something like that your kids, oh, I'm a skeleton for Halloween.
Yes.
Like I'm a spooky
Yes.
ghost.
But
you know?
like lots of cutaways to the hands, lots of hands.
Yeah.
And the hands very much, you could almost see the cake makeup. Ben Nye, Ben Nye brand.
Yeah.
Cake makeup, high school
Yep.
makeup class on there. Like you could definitely like see it.
By the way, I want to circle back to something you said, that you said you wanted to scream out, what show am I watching? Because you were too stoned. You were actually so stoned that you did scream out, what show am I watching?
What show am I watching?
Yeah.
What is this? I thought I was watching Yellowstone. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm transported to this weird fucking world where Rip is telling his mom.
Yeah.
Now look, that's not it. But that to me, I laughed all the way here to the studio. I was just like, man, they really... It's one of those things that just like boring, and then just fucking what?
Got hit by a truck on that one. And kind of hard to recover. So then, I was like, okay, first of all, it's out of character for Rip.
Very much so.
He
He's
murders
done with his
people,
family.
murdered his family.
Murders his family. I
Yeah,
think even the
might have
mom's
been the mom.
gunshot that they did show in the head
Yeah.
was from Rip,
Yep.
right?
The last person who would be digging up his mom,
And
getting her
needing to,
blessing
like,
to get married,
Is this guy.
is Rip. Mom, you look good,
Who
Mom.
directed this one? Who
It-
wrote
who
this
wrote it?
one?
I don't know. And here's the thing. So immediately I go to, because there's a commercial break, I go to see if Cole Hauser has an Instagram.
Sure.
who is the unbelievably talented actor who plays Rip.
Talented, yes.
And I go to see if he's got an Instagram or some form of social media.
Sure.
Here's what happens. In the little that I know of Cole Hauser, I got to have drinks with him one night, a very long time ago.
Right.
Him and Vince Vaughn were beef fries, and we got to have drinks and all that shit. Okay. Here's why this is important. Vince Vaughn has refused to have social media for his life.
Okay.
He's like, this is fucking ridiculous. If people want to see me, they can come out and see me.
Good
it's
for you.
great. You have
Love
to be
it.
super famous
For sure.
to get away with that. Otherwise, you can't because you've got to promote shit and blah, blah, blah. Right? Since Cole Hauser is one of his best friends, I immediately think to myself, well, there's no fucking way he does either. And sure enough, he does.
Okay.
It's all Yellowstone things. So clearly he just started it when he got on Yellowstone.
Okay.
The show blows up.
Right.
This is the exact same thing, by the way, happened to Clayne on Lethal Weapon. He had no social media.
Right, and he had to
and
just,
literally the
it's-
studio had sit
yeah.
down with you and say, no, you're going to have a fucking social media. We'll have someone post if you want. We don't give a shit, but you're going to have one. So Rip just has, or Cole Hauser, just has photos, stock photos, generic photos from
Sure.
Yellowstone.
Nothing
like,
personal. Nothing
one
that
personal
anyone,
photo, the
yeah.
rest is all like stock photos. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. The other part about him is he is a serious actor, right?
Yes.
I can't imagine he would sit down and read this scene for the season finale.
That's all I was thinking.
And go, what? I'm sure he went to the writers and said, hey guys, what the fuck are we doing here?
This is crazy.
Crazy. And then we watched the Entertainment Tonight interview a couple nights ago, and they were like, hey, is there any surprises? And he goes, well, won't be what you're expecting.
And that's what everyone said. So from top to bottom, Kevin Costner, executive producer, Cole Hauser, anyone that they interviewed, that's all they said. Well,
Man.
it's not going to be what you expect. And you're goddamn right. They're definitely right on that. It was nothing.
No.
At all.
So, look, the rest of it,
Not in a good way, though.
because you think that, by the way, if you're going cliffhanger-wise, and again, you can turn on the show after this, and we'll do the
Sure.
to get you back in so you know that the Yellowstone spoilers are over.
Right,
But
right.
the rest of the episode where you think that literally every other character has died in the show, I'm all in for that. I'm fine with it. You know, you have two billionaire
just a
families
lot.
fighting against each other.
Yeah, it was
I'm fine with that.
okay. It was
And it was an exciting way to end it, right? But when
I
you start to
guess.
get into adoptions and dead bodies, dead people being dug up that are your parents and
a
things like that.
twin is probably going to come at
Yeah.
some point.
And then, so the last part of this that'll put a nice little fucking
Chooch
bow
on the
this-
chooch on the boot.
on this bonnet here is I called Clayne Crawford, you know, obviously my beef fry, and I go, he doesn't put up with shit like that either in scripts.
Oh,
Obviously,
can
he got
you
fired
imagine?
from Lethal Weapon because of things weren't being realistic enough for him.
Yes, that he would not deal with.
Yellowstone
Yeah.
is definitely, I didn't think was that type of show, but when I called him and I go, hey man, are you watching this Yellowstone finale tonight? And he goes, no, dude, I tried to watch like a couple episodes of that show.
Yeah.
And here's what he said. He goes, it looks like a more expensive, stylized version of Dallas, the TV show, right?
Yes, and he's not wrong.
Well, now he's not wrong.
Now he's not
I
wrong.
thought for a couple seasons, I was like, no, we just don't agree on that one. And then now it's like, well, you're exhuming dead parents and you have adoptions of kids and you're blowing up
finding
things.
real fathers that are like,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yep.
questionable.
So is it a more stylized version of Dallas? Yes, now it is.
Sure.
You've now that you've taken that turn, you can't go back. Okay. You've dug up a dead parent and shown close-ups of it. You can't go back at that
Lots
point.
of-
And it's all green. Like she was all green. Again, can't go back. Looked like the ghost in The Grudge. That's kind of what the model was for the mom, the dead mom.
Kind of, yeah.
You can't go back now, and I will say this: I have now switched over from. I still like Yellowstone. I just think Yellowstone is a different show now. But I love the show. I will continue to watch. I will definitely watch next season. But I am now switched over in my mind to, all right, this is no longer a drama to me. This is a a campy kind of comedic drama. And I love shit like that. Obviously, I've made a bunch of movies like that are hilarious and that I find hilarious. Sure. But it just didn't start off as that show. And to those of you who are out there wondering, hey, man, why did it turn into that show? I answered this for a friend of mine last night. It was like, what the fuck, bro? And I was like, look, you started off, this was supposed to be a limited series of just 8 episodes, and it's about this family, and fuck, man, it was rad. The season finale of that was rad.
Right.
It turns out to be the biggest television show on TV. Ratings-wise, it is the biggest show on television. I think it's like 13.6. I mean, before that, I think Walking Dead was the biggest show on television like that. And now it's Yellowstone. Obviously, they were going to have more seasons. Where you were going to take that, I don't know. I don't know how many times you can go for the same storyline of somebody's coming after my land. And it's just different families and people.
Different families and different people. And how many times can you introduce somebody trying to take land? And then Costner, who is both, like I said, executive producer and star, always makes himself the badass, right? So if he is never going to fail in any way, just not going to work for me. Like there needs to be, like there's no conflict in that way with him, right? It's always just like, I got you, I'm winning, no one's taking my land, I'm a fucking badass. Right? So
either way, to cap this off, I will continue to watch Yellowstone. However, I'm in a different mindset of it now, and there'll be a lot more laughter from me versus...
And we're happy for that. We're happy
serious
for you.
Look, but it could have gone either way with this show. Obviously, they chose to go the way that they went. I don't mind it either. Like, both are fine. Both are hilarious. But you have to admit how brilliant I am that as soon as I saw the dead body, I go, oh, bomb. Next scene's going to have a bomb in it.
Yeah, next scene they got a
package. You go, no fucking way. And I go,
as
yes.
It's exploding, I say no, because that just wasn't the show that I had signed on to watch. And so I was like, no, like they don't get bombs delivered and a whole floor of a place with every character is on it. You know what I mean? Like that's just not what happens. But
it was the ultimate Rostradamus moment between us last night.
And if bomb. I'm like, shut up.
If our bedroom was televised last night, it would have been like, yo, how the fuck did Ross call that? I just, where that's going writing wise at that point.
Right.
And really fucking funny. But either way, Yellowstone fans, don't come after me. I'm still a fan. I'm still going to watch. However, it just takes on a different meaning for me now, the show. Neither way is incorrect. I just enjoy the more dramatic way better.
Right.
But here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are. And then right afterwards, now you can cut back in. The Yellowstone spoilers are over. Right afterwards, they showed the full-length trailer for Kevin Costner, Diane Lane movie.
Oh,
where
yes.
He's doing the same thing. Same voice. And what would you say? The same plot? It feels like it's revenge and murder and I'm going to kill you and all that shit. It felt like it. But the wife's a badass. Mm-hmm. So kind of leaning into what's popular right now. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I don't remember that.
Oh, yeah. You got so high.
And after the explosion, honestly, I don't remember anything else after the explosion, and then like someone else is dying, and then shooting, and then it just like ended.
By the way, for you personally, last night, when the credits hit, I've never seen a human being check out of life faster than you. You pulled the cover over your head, and you're like, "I'm going to bed."
Yeah.
And you literally go, "Turn off the light."
Turn off the light. Turn it off because I'm done. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was me. So yeah, no, I don't remember the trailer that you're talking about.
Yep.
But yeah, Kevin Costner in his Instagram and in his life now is a real life cowboy.
Yes.
In his mind.
Well.
And look, I think Dan was saying this too. Like, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you fucking just like...
Yeah, lean into it. Who cares?
If you can.
Fuck yeah.
If you have to learn how to like ride a horse and shoot and do all this stuff for the show, like... Why not? Why not just do it in real life if you have fucking money to? Hell yeah.
And the beauty is he lives, on a beach in Santa Barbara, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, so, Hilarious. I'm all in. And yeah, man, I'll continue to watch. For sure. I'll continue to watch.
I mean, I will too, only because content is sparse. But
yeah. Well, it's not going to be till next summer.
Stoked? No.
I am. I am, but for different reasons.
Okay.
You know? Now the comedy element's in there for me, and I'm like, all right, yes. I can kind of dig into it the way I used to dig into like One Tree Hill or something.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're at, is adoptions, fake dads, all that shit. Like, for real.
Yeah,
and I don't mind that. I love both worlds equally. You know? So, hey, Yellowstone fans, I'm in. I'm in with you. Switching from one fucked up family to another. This Kellyanne Conway, George Conway sitch is wild.
So what?
Really, really wild.
What is going on? Why is it so wild?
So obviously she runs the PR for the White House and all of that shit. She has for the entire term. She's one of Trump's longest lasting people that were there.
Consultant, basically.
Yeah. She's been there through all of it. And, you know, for better or worse, she was good at her job. And that is not an easy job at all.
No. God.
Her husband is and look, you can say whatever you want. If she's a jackass, her husband's a fucking jackass. This fucking guy, George Conway. Your wife has a very powerful position in the world. Whether or not you agree with the politics or everything else, take a back seat and let your wife do her fucking job. And because it is important, and what you do is not important for the world, George Conway. So in that life, you would have to take a back seat. For example, let's say Good Morning America or Kelly and Ryan called and wanted to pick you off, right? I would quit everything and take a back seat to whatever that is, because that is an important job, not only for you and our family, but for the world.
Right.
Therefore, whatever happens there, the rest of it shuts down, or I'll try to figure out a way around your schedule. But you will be the most important. I would not go on air ripping your show or your life or anything else that goes on in it, because I realize the greater whole, you know, like, and for whatever reason, he did not. He has come out at every turn and bashed Trump. And it's weird. This is his wife who is literally serving for Trump.
Very strange.
It has always been really fucking weird.
Really fucking weird. The Lincoln Project.
Well, then he starts this thing called the Lincoln Project, which is, you know, we're going to out all of these fucking lies and accusations and things against Trump.
I mean,
whatever.
Really going hard. Not just being like, hey, I sort of disagree or we have different views. Like full on anti-Trump, like.
To the nth degree. Like, Democrats have rallied around this Lincoln Project thing. It's fucking weird. Your wife has one of the biggest jobs in America. Like, let her do her fucking job. After it's over, then you can go scorched earth and do whatever you want. Like, I don't know what good that does for you, for your marriage, and for your children. And so I thought, because of all this crazy shit that was going on, they didn't have any kids. I did. No. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then the 15-year-old daughter comes out this week and says, no, I want an emancipation from my parents. This has gotten too fucking crazy from life. Now, look, almost in 99% of cases where kids want emancipated from their parents, you're like, this is some little bratty fucking kid who doesn't know about the world or whatever, blah, blah, blah. In this one instance, I will say this 15-year-old girl is completely justified. And I can imagine, not only does this ruin her personal life, her social life, but, you know, whatever form of career or job she's going to try to get in this world. It's like, who's your parents? Oh, those fucking kooks. Like, this is crazy to me.
Right.
Crazy to me. So she comes out publicly and I think she went to TMZ or first.
TikTok.
Well, TikTok, but then she did a thing for TMZ,
okay.
yeah. And she said, look, I know this is going to be huge and a huge story and hurt a lot of people and all this other shit, but I don't know how else to get my story out there. She's probably right. She does this, and then 48 hours later, Kellyanne Conway quits the White House, and the father quits the Lincoln Project, and they're going to focus on family, which is what you should do in a situation like that. if your kids need help and all that shit.
Did it have to come to that?
No.
I'm not sure.
And to me on this one, I'll blame the husband because your wife has a powerful and important position. Yes, everybody's got their own political beliefs, right? However, this wasn't her first rodeo with Trump. Like, she's been in politics for a long time.
Right.
So let her finish her job out. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. The election's in fucking 60 days now at this point, right?
Right.
Let her finish out the 60 days. Either Trump's going to get reelected or he's not. But let her finish her 4-year term, and then she can quit after that. Like, that would have been fine before you start all this other bullshit. Do I think this daughter goes fucking ham like this and tries to get emancipated if homeboy's not in the press every day with the Lincoln Project? No. Like, mom's got a powerful job, and that's it. Figure out your life and move on. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, at the end of it, both of them made the correct decision, and hopefully their family can heal. And
I mean, what are those conversations like? And especially now, it feels like there's no way that they don't have a shit ton of resentment. There's no way. There's just no way.
The kids or the parents?
The parents. There's no way that these two people that had to leave what they were doing because of what it was doing to each other and their family, there's no way that there's not resentment. And you're a married person, so you know. Those little underhanded, the like things about I had to leave and you had to leave. Oh, well, if I was in the fucking White House still, or, oh, okay. Oh, you want to buy that? Well, guess you shouldn't have fucking.
Here's the honest truth. I'm surprised they stayed married at all after this. With his hatred towards Trump like that, and your job is to protect Trump and be the PR person and lead the charge. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why they were married and like how they stayed married. There's not, if you and I try to put like myself into their shoes, right? If it was you and I in the same positions, right? There's no way I'd be married to you.
If what?
If we disagreed that fiercely out in public, I don't know what your personal life is like at that point. Like, I don't know how you have dinner or watch television.
Right.
Or the news or anything in life and not bicker about shit. Your parents enjoy talking about politics, you know? Mm-hmm. We don't agree on politics or whatever. You always say the same thing. Hey, let's not get into it and blah, blah, blah. I understand it.
There's a lot of things that you and I don't agree with politically. A lot we do, some we don't, right? And we just like don't, it doesn't matter at home. That's not our job, like. Do you know what I mean?
Right. To me, I don't think there's that many things we really differ on, to be honest with you. Me and you, I don't think so.
Politically, sometimes, yeah.
But very.
But does that fucking matter?
Very rarely, like, to be honest with you. And like, no, it doesn't matter. And, but in these two jobs, these high profile jobs, yes, I can't believe they didn't get divorced years ago.
Yeah.
It's the craziest shit of all time. The only time I could think that there was, I was trying to think back. I was like, man, has there ever been a couple this public that was staunchly against one another? And I think it was James Carville and his wife.
Oh, that's right. But
but here's the thing. James Carville is a very smart, funny, intelligent guy. And like, he never ever took shots at his wife in public. He never did any of that stuff. And he always viewed it as a funny thing behind the scenes of like, what makes him and his wife work is that they're different and they can have conversations about being different.
And they're both smart, though, and they can have a debate as opposed to just fighting over stuff or not wanting to talk about stuff. I think they really wanted to, and that's the difference. Like,
and that's the only other time I can remember something like this. But other than that, the whole thing is really fucking odd.
Very weird.
I 100% see them getting divorced within 2 years at this point. Like, I don't know why you keep up the charade, or whenever this girl goes to college, she's 15.
They may do some therapy. They may try and work on their family stuff. But the resentment from both of them, as far as like not doing what they obviously want to do, it's too big.
Yeah.
It's too big. Like, if you have to quit your job because of something your husband did, there's a little resentment there. Do you know what I mean? And it's something that you were making a lot of money. Like, it was your dream. That's normal resentment, right?
Yeah.
But this is another level.
Yeah. So,
And
who
resentment
fucking
towards
knows?
the daughter. I mean, there's going to be that too.
Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen to that girl. But strange. Speaking of other families, Aunt Becky got sentenced
Yep.
on Friday.
What'd she get?
She got 2 months.
2 months. That's
2
right.
months in jail. The husband got
She
5.
will serve 2 weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, she will serve 2 hours maybe. Because of COVID, maybe nothing.
I'm going to say 8 days, but yeah.
Because of COVID, maybe nothing. And, now that this is all done, I think they each got a $500,000 fine as well. Now that this is all done, I am having a really hard time thinking of a bigger waste of taxpayers' dollars than this. I would be real curious to see what the final tally was on the budget for this lawsuit, because it had to have been in the towards $100 million to take down 2 famous people who lied to get their kids into a good college. Like that again, we've talked about this numerous times on the show. That's why you become famous, so you can get your dummy children into colleges. And who cares? They're donating a fuck ton to the schools to get their kids. And any taxpayer dollars spent on getting Aunt Becky 8 days in jail. I don't want any of that. Same with Felicity Huffman. She was the other one, right?
Yeah. She
ended up serving, I think, 12 days or 14 days or something, whatever it was. I don't want any money wasted on that stupid shit. I don't care. I don't care at all. And now that it's over, I don't care at all.
Right.
I think about financially what it probably did to their family. And I look back, look, we've been in a million lawsuits at this point. Financially, it just goes back and forth. These things drag on forever. You know how it shakes out, right? I think with Felicity Huffman, she looked at all this shit and said, all right, I could try to put up the good fight of Aunt Becky, or I could financially get out of this with a fine and just serve this shit real quick. And, in hindsight, she saved herself a year's worth of legal fees against the feds. Probably millions and millions of dollars in legal fees just by accepting the plea and pleading out, taking that bid for William H. Macy, which was nice. And, looking back, the husband should have probably done the same thing for Aunt Becky so she could have kept her job on Full House and all the other stuff. But
I think they could have, but they were just saying nothing happened.
They were, which is the thing. And
So that is their only issue. And I think people are pissed as far as, like you're saying, taxpayer money. You did it. The taxpayer money is coming from the fact that you're saying you didn't do it.
Right.
Which you did.
And
everyone knows you did. Yeah. So, in the end, it was dragged out, all of this, because of them.
Because you look at all of these hearings, right, where Congress is involved or Senate or whoever these fucking people are, FBI, feds, 90% of them are worthless. I look at the postal thing over the weekend. Right. We're going to call the postmaster general in, and then they call him in. They have this hearing, and they don't get the answers they want. Oh, they're lying to us. They're lying to us. Great. It was a waste of money. All of it. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Athletes on steroids. Remember when they did all those? And they put Marion Jones in prison for a year for doing steroids and winning gold medals and shit for the country. Don't care.
Right.
Waste of money. Barry Bonds, fucking Roger Clemens, all those guys. Armstrong on trial for wasting money on this to get what was the end result of it? They did steroids. Who gives a shit? I don't care.
Right.
Money versus what the case is. If it's pedophiles, spend that much money on pedophiles.
Yeah.
I really drop the hammer on them. Take all of that taxpayer money and go after them. Everyone would support that. I don't support spending money on Aunt Becky. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. And now it's over, and it's so what? She's gonna get, like you said, 8 days probably?
Yeah.
In jail, who cares? Oh, life is hard.
They're going to have pictures of her walking around the yard in a jumpsuit. And then they're going to let her out.
Yeah, that's it. Waste of time. Waste of fucking time. Want to get to a little more serious subject here, Jabes.
Okay.
Kenosha, Wisconsin last night. Whenever you see a weird city pop up that's trending real quick, you're like, oh, right. What happened?
What happened?
Did a building explode? was there a shooting? Was there a bomb thing? Whatever.
Right.
This was the. I mean, look, you're going to read this headline everywhere, and I'm sure you have already this morning. White officer shoots unarmed black man. Look, man, I watched the video. The video is gnarly, but to me, it was justified. You have a guy that you pulled over. He's got warrants for his arrest. He's got a ton of priors, and they used a stun gun on him. Couldn't stop him. The guy just gets up, spits on the ground, and says, "Fuck you guys." Goes into the driver's side of his vehicle, and he appears to try to pull something out of it. I don't know what that is. Cops haven't said if there was anything in there yet. But here's the thing, man. If you do that, you're going to get shot and killed. He's still alive somehow after 7 shots.
Right.
But when you're resisting arrest with a warrant on you, like if you've ever had a warrant out there for anything, an outstanding warrant, as soon as you get pulled over, that is literally what they say to you is, "Sir, we have an outstanding warrant for whatever your charge is," right? They're not just going to let you go at that point.
Right.
You're going to have to be arrested and you're going to have to be cuffed and then deal with it at the station.
Why wasn't he cuffed? That's my thing.
I don't know. I think, so this is the other part of this. When you're saying why wasn't he cuffed, I've seen some other videos that are popping up where like white people are charging cops and other things, and they're like, well, they haven't been shot.
Right.
I think cops are so afraid now that it's like, all right, shit, everybody's got cameras on me. We're in the middle of, whatever downtown area Kenosha is, and forgive me, I have not visited the Kenosha, Wisconsin area before in my life. But I think cops are so fearful now of what is happening to other cops all around. The guy in Atlanta, obviously the George Floyd thing, that they're so fearful that they're like, shit, man, how do we treat all of these people with kid gloves enough just so that we can get out of this situation, get them in the car, go down and then process them like we used to.
Right.
Like we typically used to do our jobs. I think everyone is really afraid. I think if I'm a cop now, I am afraid for cops. I had this conversation with Dan when I took our son to see that outdoor concert, the concert in your car thing. I went up to the cops. There was a bunch of Ventura County cops that were out there just supervising it, And I walked up to one of the cop cars and I said, "Hey, I just want to thank you and just know that, there is citizens out here that are on your side." His first reaction was to pull back. He seemed stunned that I was walking up to the vehicle to say something positive and not yell in his face or spit on him or, now in Portland, I don't know if you saw the videos yesterday. Now they're shitting in balloons and pissing in balloons and then throwing these at police officers.
Seems really hard to do.
It is. And watch the footage if you get to see the Portland footage.
Fill a balloon with water, just
Now it's urine and feces. So
gosh,
go look at last night's footage of the Portland thing.
That's more impressive.
The
than
bags
anything else
the
I've heard.
balloons are popped all over the streets and everywhere, and it's some of the most disgusting shit you'll ever see.
Sure, but again,
this is what the police
impressive.
are going through right now. And like, again, that cop in Ventura, his first response was to pull back of like, shit, is this guy going to fucking attack me? Am I going to get yelled at? Whatever. And it's like, it should not be the response. Therefore, with last night's thing, why wasn't he cuffed? I don't know. My only guess is they're afraid. Cops are afraid to do their job. And then if somebody gets up, says, "Fuck you guys," and then just walks around to the driver's side and appears to pull something out, you're going to shoot that fucking guy. Like, do you have a choice?
Right.
When you use a stun gun, they use a stun gun. Stun gun didn't work. Stun gun didn't work in the Atlanta case either. Stun gun didn't work in the Ferguson riots. Same thing, that guy, they stunned the shit out of that guy. Nothing happened. You don't know what kind of drugs people are on. You don't know if they can beat the stun gun. But if they do, guess what? You got one option left at that point. And everybody else is like, "Oh, why didn't they tackle him? Why didn't they?" Well, you can't use chokeholds anymore. So what are you going to do? Unless you're somebody like Giorgio, who is an experienced wrestler, like a world-class wrestler, like what are you going to start teaching cops that? Do you have time to go out and say, hey, man, you know what we're going to do? An hour out of the day is take you over to jiu-jitsu, learn some proper techniques and holds, because the guy that you're going to be arresting is going to be on drugs, probably is going to resist arrest. Stun gun's not going to work. You can't use your gun anymore. You can't use any chokeholds anymore. Therefore, we want you to learn the teachings of the Gracie family just to do your fucking job every day. Fuck off with this. Like the Dan Holloway, get fucked on that. But fuck off with this shit. Like, the guy got shot because he resisted arrest and he's got warrants out. And if he beats a stun gun, hey, man, that's your last line of defense at that point. You can't choke him. Can't do anything else. He's going to get shot, and that's it. And that footage is going around everywhere. And, of course, they always go to the photos of it, right? Him with his kids and all that other shit, like happy times. Like, look, man, you could go back to footage of OJ with his kids and his wife in happier times. Like, sometimes fucking shit doesn't pan out the way you want in life, and you fucking lose your mind for whatever reason. And I certainly don't blame the cops in this one. I've gotten some messages this morning. What are my thoughts on it? That's exactly my thoughts on it, right there. I don't know what else you're supposed to do if you're a police officer. I really don't. I don't know if you have any thoughts, but
this one's hard. His kids were in the, but it does look like I don't know what he's going to grab. And it's hard. You can't do that, right? You can't resist. Like, in my mind, I would never in a million years even think about doing that. But do I think you should die for it? No. But I know.
I guess, what do?
I know.
Somebody else, like, everybody's trying to guess at this today. Somebody else was saying, well, why couldn't they just shot him once or twice or shot out the tires, somebody said. And I was like, man, he's going to reach in for something into that car.
Right. He does look like, yeah.
I don't know what that is. And it's when you make an aggressive movement like that, I don't know what choice the cops have. Like, wait to see what he has first and then turn around and try to figure that out and then shoot him afterwards. Like, you can't. Unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. And firing a gun is pretty goddamn easy.
Right.
It takes about, 0.2 of a second to pull the trigger. If I'm the cop, man, I don't guess. Especially if I got kids and a wife at home or whatever, what am I going to guess? Because some suspect who I arrested has warrants for his arrest and is refusing to be arrested and then tased and, great, the taser didn't work. No, I'm not going to take the chance.
Right.
I'm going to shoot the guy. And the 7 times, like, I've watched that video now probably 20 or 30 times at this point. The first 3 shots looked like they didn't do shit to this guy. Like, he was still going. And
right.
I don't know what else you do. You keep firing, and the suspect is down. Yeah. But, of course, there's going to be riots and other shit. And tonight's the first night of the Republican convention, national convention. Ooh. So I'm sure the Democrats are going to go all in on this afternoon.
Yes.
We're shooting this in the morning, and we're gonna pop up the video later tonight because we're obviously, as you can see behind us, we're still building a studio. But I'm sure this is going to be the story of the day leading into tonight's convention, and it's going to be a race war. This is going to be a race vote, and this is shaping up to be. It's COVID and race. No other policies other than that. I haven't heard anything that the Democrats want to do financially or fiscally for this country. And it's going to come down to 2 things, race and COVID. Yep. What you believe and what you don't believe. And if you believe in defunding the police is the answer. And I now more than ever, that is crystal clear what this election is going to come down to, these 2 things and what you believe in. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Speaking of race, we'll get to the Jamil Hill thing after the sponsors. But we do have some sponsors who not only put the show on the air, but allow us to build new sets and do all the cool shit, which you're going to see in the next upcoming weeks. In the meantime, we're still going to try to go live and do video and all that stuff. And thanks to GhostBed sponsor. Ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros allows us to do all this shit. Bundle packages now. 30% off of bundle packages they're doing for everyone.
Love
30%
it.
off if you're a member of the military or first responder or a teacher or work in the government. The bundle packages, you can just be a dumb civilian like myself and get this bundle package. It's for Memorial Day.
Nice.
Coming up. Yeah, or Labor Day. I'm sorry, Labor Day. Yeah. Labor Day is coming up. The days and holidays have all blended into one this year.
They mean nothing.
Man.
Except for with
right?
Ghost Bed. They're going to keep the deals going.
Memorial Day always means something,
right,
obviously. But
right.
During COVID, every day has felt the same. That means Halloween's got to be around the corner. What the fuck, man? This year, man, it's been a fuck all. I'm going to be honest. The only thing that has saved my life this year was the new Ghost Bed.
Oh, yeah.
The cooling mattress, the adjustable base, all that shit. Shout out to Rich Bernstein. Man, that thing is amazing. As always, 36-month pay-as-you-go program at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. And there's no interest on that. So all the deals that I just mentioned at the top are applicable with the 36-month pay-as-you-go program. Now is the time to do it, man. I mean, shit, they're just dropping deals to the world, dude. Huge fan of these guys. Next up, StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Shabloinkers.
Jeez.
I need some.
Shabloinkers.
I need some.
I got a little bit of my LaCroix. I got a little bit of LaCroix here. As we're setting up, getting ready here. We're LaCroixing it today. Not a sponsor. Strikeforce is, and I got Strikeforce in it. There's no better combo than Strikeforce and LaCroix. I can promise you that.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
No carbs, no sugars in all of it. No gluten if you give a fuck about that. Lasts longer than 5-hour energy. 10-pack, 40-pack, 750 milliliter bottle. They'll boom, boom. Pop a couple squirts in and go and get you going. Boom, boom.
Yeah, baby.
Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Was that me?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's hear it again.
Yeah, baby. Boom, boom.
I'm a big fan of that, James.
Yeah, thanks.
Last but not least, Keeps.com.
Of course.
/revolution. Keeps the hair you got is what it does. Man, that's real nice. I'll tell you what, man, my hair is thick as shit. All right, so I said I would give this till the end of the year. It's KEEPS.com /revolution. I will say this. I've noticed a very different texture, I guess I would say. I've noticed
Thicker?
a different texture,
Yeah.
Thicker. And I'm going to attribute this to Keeps. I don't know what else it would be.
Again, it can't hurt.
Can't hurt. 2 out of 3 men are going bald out there, so...
probably never too early to try. Go to
No.
keeps.com
/revolution.
and chat with an expert.
Yes.
They'll let you know which... They have like 3 different things that you can do, like a solution, a shampoo, and then tablets, depending on what kind of baldness or what you're wanting to achieve.
Yeah.
They'll let you know which one to do, and then you get 30 days free.
30 days free. After that, it's just $10 a month, and
Beautiful.
Free online
Cannot
doctor
hurt.
visit. It's great. It's great. Gigantic fans of Keeps.com /revolution. At the end of the year, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the honest truth about it. So far, so good though.
Yeah.
Pretty amped about it. Tease Jamil Hill.
You
Before
did.
we went into sponsors, and look, man, if there is possible, if it's possible, is it possible to hate a human more? I'm trying to think. Than Jamil Hill.
You personally don't hate anyone as much as you hate her.
I think so, right?
Yeah. I'll attest.
Boy, she goes on Twitter last night and we were just reading this book, and she was like, everybody should read this book. Nazi Germany. The United States is worse than Nazi Germany. And obviously Twitter was on fire. Everything else is on fire. I don't know if it's on purpose anymore with her. I don't know what the genuine deal is. Mm-hmm. I'd love to know the honest answer of like, hey man, are you just trying to be the most hated person on the internet? Or do you genuinely believe it? Because if she genuinely believes that, right? There was a bunch of people last night who were like, look, whatever the cost is to move you the fuck out of this country, we will all chip in and do it. Just pick somewhere you want to live and then we'll ship you there.
Right.
it's strange to me at this point. Like anybody who bashes America this much, leave. Like go, just get out and leave. We know some media personalities who were just like, hey man, at the end of my run here, I'm fed up with X or whatever that is in this life or in America. And they've just gotten up and left and gone to England. One of them worked for K-Rock. It was Kevin and Bean.
Yeah.
I think it was Bean. It was just like, I've always tired in the country side of England and not deal with life anymore. Great, do it. Jamil Hill, she got a fucking massive settlement from ESPN because of course she fired for race, and let's face it, it had nothing to do with race. She was just extremely shitty at her job,
right,
and made everything political and everything racial, every single story.
Right.
Even though it was 6 o'clock Sports Center, which has nothing to do with race or politics. I don't understand why you just don't take your money and leave. Take all those millions of dollars and leave. It's super simple. And you would live the best life ever. You would never have to talk about anything you hate about America again because you wouldn't live here.
Right.
So why doesn't she do that?
Because that wouldn't be as fun for her.
I guess. Is it fun? Is it fun to be this hated though? Like
I don't think she thinks, I think she sees, as anyone does, more followers than haters, right?
Well, so she has 1.2
people
million
that
Twitter
agree.
followers. Because I looked at that and I was like, who the fuck is following her?
More people that agree with her. Really, when you have an ego like that or whatever.
You're like, it's different to me when your narrative is, I hate America.
Right.
Alex Jones's whole shit is, I don't hate America. That's why I do what I do.
Right.
And I love it and I want to fight for this country.
Right.
When you just hate America outright and all the people in it, and you think everyone's a racist, that, you know, she said it numerous times. Everybody who votes for Trump is a racist. The whole country is full of racists, and I hate it here. And where this is Nazi Germany would have been better than this. And there was a guy, by the way, a Holocaust survivor, who got on her Twitter feed last night, started posting pictures from like what happens after gassings and things like that.
Yeah.
Posted the numbers on his arm and everything, and he goes, if you fucking think for one goddamn second that this country is worse than Nazi Germany, let me show you how bad it was. And then just proceeded to drop like 9 tweets of like pictures of the actual Holocaust, the numbers that were tattooed on his arm, everything else. Like, to me, it is not worth life. Like your own life and your fucking wellness, like your mental fucking and physical wellness. To say shit like this and get this much hatred for followers and for like clickbait, like everything we say on this show, I believe in. And if you see me in real life, everybody who comes up to me in real life or messages me and they're like, hey man, I really love what you said about this and this and this. I do it because I genuinely believe in what I'm saying. 1, 2, I don't have the same hatred and like, I guess, lack of hope in America that other people do. And it's like, I'd like to see things change. And that's why we do it. For her, I don't know why she does it. Like, there is no, she never presents any solutions or why she sides with certain things. It's just, everybody's a fucking racist and that's it. And I don't understand, what's the solution there? For her, and to receive this much hatred and backlash every single day, I don't know how you live your life like that. Strange. It's strange to me.
Yeah.
The other people who are doing it, you know, again, I'll lean to an Alex Jones, since that's usually the figure that everybody goes to, right? On the right side of the wall, he's so crazy and whatever. It was like, well, I can tell you why he does the show. Like, he genuinely believes in what he's doing and wants to fight for America because he loves it. Now, whether or not you agree with his opinion or not, or how he's going about it, it's another fucking story. Same with Rush Limbaugh, right? But with Jamil Hill's thing, it's like, when you hate your own country, what's the end result?
Yeah, like you're saying, without any real solution.
Yeah.
Only wanting everyone to be on your side with the hatred instead of like, what we need to do is this and this. Right? Mm-hmm. No solution. Yeah.
It's strange, man. And every time she pops up, every time I see her name trending, I know it's going to be horrific. And then I click on it and I'm like, it's worse than I thought it was.
Right.
Every single time when I'm like, man, that is definitely worse than I thought it was. But I don't get it. I don't get the whole sitch. I don't get why you would want to live your life like that. Strange to me. And she's already rich. So if you were doing it to try to get rich, because let's face it, there's a bunch of people out there who are saying fucked up shit just to try to get famous or rich or social media or whatever. And it's like, all right, cool, I guess. But for her, she's already got money. So what is it? You know, I don't believe I've seen her out in the streets doing shit with people. Like, even last night, like, is she going to show up in Kenosha, Wisconsin tomorrow? No. Like, she's not a goddamn prayer she's going to be there. So, it's strange to me. A bunch of the other messages that I got today were regarding Kim Jong-un. So, the New York Post, South Korea, every single outlet is now reporting that Kim Jong-un is in a coma. And that the sister
still
has now had power, and they're thinking that he might have been either not alive or in a coma for a very long time. And everybody's calling me Rostradamus on this one again. And it's like, no, man, I said, what was it, 6 months ago that this motherfucker was dead?
Yeah.
And I've stood by that. I said, no, guys, he's definitely dead. The pictures you're seeing are old pictures of him doing shit.
Right.
He's also got 8 lookalikes out there. And I know Saddam Hussein had a bunch of them as well. He's fucking dead, man. I said he was dead.
Yeah.
It is over. He's been dead for a long time. Or they're just pumping air into his dead body.
Right.
So that technically there is a body there that has some form of oxygen in it. He's fucking dead, guys. Like, that's it. I can't say this anymore.
Hey, guys.
I don't know. Unless I go full Yellowstone and dig up his body.
Yeah, he's Rip's mom. He's Rip's mom right now.
He's dead. That is, like, fuck, man.
That's it.
Yeah. And I like how every outlet now, like the New York Post and everything today, was like, "Oh, he's in a coma, and the sister's taking over, and he might even be dead." He's been dead for 6 months. What I said all along was this: they were going to wait to pronounce that he's dead while they set up her shit to transition into power and make sure that everything was set up, so that way they can have a nice, send off for the fucking old leader in the country. They can trot out the military in the streets, embalm him properly, like Rip's mom from Yellowstone, and carry his body through the streets and do the whole fucking thing. But you needed this amount of time to get, all the transition done for the sister to take over. And yeah, this is the exact timeline it said it was going to be.
Right.
Like almost to the fucking day of like, hey man, here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that hard to me. I don't understand. You had the most public, one of the most public figures there is, hiding all of a sudden of like, oh, we just haven't seen him in 6 months. He's fucking dead.
Right.
Otherwise, this guy was getting his dick sucked on the rag, eating food. What do you have? What's that disease where you just keep eating lobster?
What?
Yeah. When you're so rich and you're eating shit, you get that, it's in your foot. Georgia, do you know what I'm talking about?
Gout?
Gouts, that's it.
Where you keep eating lobster?
Yeah. So rich people who are only eating rich food all the time, like when you do that, you develop gout. It's called gout. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I don't know if...
Dead serious.
Okay.
So when you're...
I'm sure we'll get a bunch of fact checking on this.
Oh, we will. Feel free, by the way.
Sure.
Because it used to happen in like the 16th century to like kings and shit like that, right? People who were just overindulging and just enjoying the excesses of life every single day. That's gout. That's what happened to a lot of these fucking people.
Okay.
You know who else it happened to? What was the show that we used to watch with Jonathan Rhys-Meyers? The fucking King and Queen? Or did I watch that when you just were sleeping?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
The King and Queen?
On Showtime.
Tudors?
Yes.
I never watched Tudors with you.
Yeah, I watched it when you were sleeping, I think. I just gunned through like an entire realm of Tudors because I'm a huge Jonathan Rhys-Meyers fan. Either way, he ended up getting gout at the end of that thing because he was just, eating and drinking all day long and enjoying life. And that's what happens. You get gout.
Right. Okay.
I always go to lobster because it's like, that's the ultimate indulgence.
Yeah, eating a diet rich in meat and seafood and drinking beverages sweetened with fruit sugar increases levels of uric acid, which cause gout.
So I was correct. That's That's how we end the show today, kids. Good night, everyone.
So I was right.
Kim Jong-un has had gout. He's like 35 years old.
Sure.
He also had like heart issues from smoking.
Right.
Like, apparently he chain smoked like 5 packs a day too, on
North
top
Korea.
of all this other shit. Yeah. So it's like, dude, yeah, he's fucking dead, man. That's
Yeah.
it. And
he's dead.
And I can tell you, sorry to interrupt you, but I can tell you it's the same fucking story that everybody else reported on 6 months ago. The rumor that he had a stent put in his heart and the guy got fucking nervous and botched the heart. Yeah, dude, that's what happens.
The problem is they don't give us any information, right? Any real information. And then secondly, the media here is so worried about it that they don't really report in a real way. It's very ginger. It's very scared. Like you could tell that they know, but they're not going to say it.
Yeah.
And they really don't know the politics over there. They don't know who they're going to get killed if they say anything. So the coverage over here has been very much like, yep, he's in a coma. And you're like, I mean, and they're like, nope, he's in a coma, knowing full well. Do you know what I mean?
That's why you listen to Ross Patterson Revolution. I'm just giving you the facts and everything in advance.
No gingerly reporting anything over here, huh?
No, I'm
full
just going. Yep.
Aggression.
Yeah. I say what I believe
first and fact check after.
No, I knew the facts of that. It was easy.
Easy, dead,
Easy.
fact.
Yeah, facts.
Facts,
of
dead.
Life. Facts of life, James.
You take the good, you take the bad.
Yep. You take them all, and there you have.
And there you have.
The facts of life,
The facts
James.
of life, James.
And, you know, I called it. Whatever, man. I'm a fucking hero, genius, whatever you want to say. You know who else is a genius? Dana White.
He is.
I have talking about I've spoken about my love for Dana White. My words are not coming real easy to me today. Real difficult, Japes.
Sure.
I'm having a hard time today. Putting all the pieces together, you know? The move has been rough.
It really has.
Just want to sit behind the desk again, you know?
Right,
Get my
you
fucking
will.
arms up on
You
shit.
will.
We're close.
What you talking about?
Dana White's
Okay.
greatest human on the planet. He will be speaking at the RNC this week. And they were asking about it at a press conference because they had a fight on Saturday nights. And they said, hey, man, you're going to be speaking for Trump at the RNC on Thursday right before him. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm amped. Love Trump. You know, he's been doing a great job. Everything's awesome. And then they were like, hey, what do you think about Oscar De La Hoya coming out of retirement and fighting again at the age of like 50, 51 or whatever he is? And he goes, well, cocaine is expensive. And I'm sure he needs some money to afford some more cocaine.
Blamo.
Greatest thing of all time.
Great.
And we all know that Oscar De La Hoya has done cocaine for years and years and years.
Right. And what are you doing? Coming out.
At 51 years old
Stop
or 50
it.
years old. Like,
Just stop it. Just
I think
stop.
a guy like that. So to me, Oscar De La Hoya has always been the A-Rod of boxing.
Okay.
Where it's
Yeah. Like, what is your deal, bro?
He's gay. And
Sure.
he has problems with that. He's had problems hiding that his entire career. Once those pictures surfaced of him dressed up like women in the fishnets, and then that lawsuit that's going down where he asked this girl to put on a strap-on dildo and fuck him in the ass in the shower, and then he beat the shit out of the girl afterwards. Like, clearly that is, repression.
You have issues. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're ashamed of being gay.
And then Coke, sprinkle a little Coke on that sitch.
That's what was happening. That was what was going down, and like he's been in numerous lawsuits and for all of that shit. And like, bro, just come out and say that you're gay. We don't care. I mean, you were one of the greatest boxers of all time. You were in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Right.
He's one of the very best to do it. There is no disputing that. And it's even more impressive that you were gay. You've been probably the first gay world champion. Just come out and say it and then move on with your life. Like, I think the drugs is to mask all of that as well and everything else. But the fact that Dana White just came out and said it was fucking hilarious because they hate each other. And he was really pissed off that Dana White put that Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight together and not him. So he didn't get any of that money to Oscar De La Hoya. And, he's like, this is bad for the sport of boxing and blah, 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 blah. And then cut to, 2 months later after that fight makes $1 gajillion, he tries to do it himself. And fuck you, dude. It was a baller move. We're going to end the show, Jabes, with my love for the Killers.
Oh, yes.
They put out a new album, first time in 6 years, and I always bitch about new music and not having enough. And the Killers dropped this weird, strange, awesome anthem-y album. I don't know the name of the first track on there. I'm terrible with song names. I just play album. I just let it rock.
Right.
Whatever that lead single is a goddamn anthem that will be played at stadiums for the rest of our lives. And I will go and see them the very second they go on tour because I've seen them before, maybe 4 or 5 times live. They always put on a live show. Now you add this new arsenal of hits to the mix. I'm all in on the Killers. And thank you, Brandon Flowers, for being a genius. And it is awesome. If you throw on this album and listen to it in its entirety, you could literally probably sync it up to any 80s movie, like Less Than Zero or something else, and be like, oh, man, this is super 80s-ish. And then you have these like weird like Bruce Springsteen anthems in there, like stoked. I don't know what they've been doing for 6 years, but apparently they were just making a great album. And thank you to the Killers and Brandon Flowers. James.
Yes.
Thank you just for being sexy.
Thank you.
You're hot as hell.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Just keep getting hotter by the day. I just keep getting a little more fucking white trash here, you know?
Hey.
We are who we are.
We are who we are.
We will be back live, hopefully tomorrow. But this show will air tonight on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Ross Patterson Revolution on YouTube. And please, as always, go to iTunes and rate this show a 5-star and give it a quick review. It helps scoot us on up the charts. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
And good evening, everyone.